Hey guys, welcome back to the world of English exams. So many of you have been sending requests to us and asking on our website to make a video related to IELTS speaking. So here is the answer to all your queries, and in this video we are going to understand 5 unique strategies which will help you to speak better. It is very important to learn the approach which is appropriate for you, because not everyone speaks in the same way. Each person is unique, and also in the IELTS speaking test the topics are not the same. Each person can get a different topic, so we need to prepare ourselves to generate ideas, to speak about any given topic with confidence. Here what is more important is to show that you are a good speaker naturally. It should not appear as though you have memorized some responses and you're trying to let those responses out. So today's video is going to help you to learn 5 methods in which you can speak. And let me tell you that these methods are not just restricted to one section, but they are applicable to all the 3 sections in the test. Having said that, let's begin this video by overviewing the different parts of the speaking test. Basically, the speaking test is the same for both academic as well as general training modules. And the test happens with a human examiner, so you can speak, you can be confident, and you can be yourself. So you need not speak to a system. You need not record your voice somewhere. So it is actually like a conversation that's happening between 2 people. Of course, the examiner is a stranger to you, so you need not worry to let your heart out and speak your heart out. So having said that, there are 3 sections or 3 parts in the speaking test. The first part, which is called Introduction and Interview, lasts for 4 to 5 minutes, in which you will be asked 10 to 12 questions based on general everyday topics such as hobbies, favorite pastime, shopping, music, books, gifts, pollution, food, health. So such general topics. It is not rocket science, guys. So it's quite simple. You're going to talk to a stranger about yourself and the issues which are related to everyday topics. So that is what is the meaning of introduction and interview. So here your main aim is to have a good beginning. A good beginning always ends in a good way. So that is the common proverb. So in that way you need to create a very good first impression in the mind of the examiner in this part. For that, if you clearly analyze the timing, it's showing that it is for 4 to 5 minutes and you have to answer 10 to 12 questions. This means, let's say in 5 minutes you are answering 10 questions. Means you have to spend at least 30 seconds on each question. So have you understood that you cannot give just one word answer, because you can just finish the answer within a fraction of a second, but that does not show your ability to speak. So you need to showcase your ability to speak and to converse on any topic. So that is what is the motive here, to make you feel comfortable in the test. The examiners are very polite and friendly and they do encourage you to speak. But you need to take a cue from that and continue speaking. So after the first part is over, the discussion will convert into a monologue. So monologue means mono indicates one, log indicates talk. So here you are the person who has to talk. That's why the name individual long turn. So part 2 of the speaking test is known as individual long turn. Long turn indicates that you are given a chance to speak continuously for 2 minutes, before which you will get 1 minute of time to make some notes. In this section you will get a topic which is called cue card or task card. You will notice that there will be a topic which is followed by 4 hints. By using those 4 hints, you have to develop the response and speak for 2 minutes. In this 1 minute of time, you will also receive a paper and a pencil to jot down some notes if you want to. Then utilize the time completely, guys. Don't stop in between. maybe if you are interrupted in between at the end of the 2 minutes, it's still fine. At least you can be satisfied that you have spoken, you have utilized the opportunity to speak continuously. So being paused, being stopped is actually a good thing in the speaking test. Then moving on to the final part of the speaking test, which is called analytical discussion. In this part, you are going to be asked several questions from the same topic which is taken from part 2. Imagine in part 2 you are getting a topic about your best friend. In part 3 also the same topic will continue, but it is not just related to you, but it is related to people in general. So what are the advantages of having a best friend, and why do people want to develop friendships, or something like that. It is not focused entirely on you, but it revolves around the same topic that is given in part 2. So and this part happens for around 4 to 5 minutes. To sum up, basically you will get 5 minutes for part 1, or 4 to 5 minutes, then 3 minutes for part 2, and roughly 4 to 5 minutes for part 3, which makes it an average time of 11 to 14 minutes for the completion of the entire speaking test. And now that we have understood, I just want you to have a glimpse of how each and every part will look like, so that it will aid you in your preparation. So part 1 will look something like this. The examiner asks the candidate about him or herself, that means your introduction, his or her home, which means to describe about your accommodation, or something like where you live, tell me something about the area. So then work or studies, so they can ask whether you are a working professional or a student. And then they'll jump to asking you some familiar questions from topics that you know. For example, here the topic is social media. We all are using social media on a day-to-day basis, right? So the questions which are related to social media need not be specific to you, unless the question asks you to be specific about your own opinion. So for instance, if you look at the first question, which social media websites do you use? Basically it's asking your preferred websites. Whereas when you look at question 3, what kind of information about yourself have you put on social media? So this is also about you. So some questions will be like this, whereas other questions are very general. Something like, why do people use social media a lot nowadays? So there you need not specify your own viewpoint, but you need to generalize the point of view from others' point of view as well. Now let's proceed to section 2. As you can see, there will be a topic given which is followed by 4 clues. The topic here is describe something you liked very much which you bought for your home. That means maybe a piece of equipment, or some decorative item that you have liked very much and you purchased it for your home, to decorate your home. And the hints are what you bought. So what is the item? Then when and where you bought it. So the place where you got it from. Why you chose this particular thing. So what is the main feature that attracted you to buy that, and explain why you liked it so much. So the reasons that you found interesting, you need to explain it here. As you can see here, the tense of the topic is very important. The tense is in the past, because we have a clue called describe something you liked. Liked is nothing but past tense, and which you bought for your home. Bought is also in the past tense. So here your main focus should be on the past tense. Then as you can see, the instructions are mentioned. You will have to talk about the topic for 1 to 2 minutes. You will have 1 minute to think about what you are going to say, and you can make some notes to help if you wish. So this is how you have to analyze the question in part 2, guys. Moving ahead with part 3. Here the topic in part 2 is about things that you purchase, and also it's related to decorating your home. That's why the part 3 topic is also related to these topics only. Can you see that the first topic of discussion is creating a nice home. It's related to home. Then different types of home. So both these questions are taken from the second segment itself. So that is how you will find the speaking test, guys. There are a lot of questions online as well as available in Authentic Cambridge series, which you can practice for your speaking exam preparation. Now talking about the strategies. As the title of our video today mentions, we are going to learn 5 unique methods along with some examples also. Ideally, there is no correct or incorrect answer in the speaking test. It entirely depends on your understanding of the question, and each one of you, I know, is very unique and talented enough to extend, expand, elaborate your ideas. So this is just from my point of view that I suggest these methods to prepare, because when you look at various sources on the internet, what I have understood is there are lots of question papers, but there are very few websites which are providing you the technique of how to approach the question. So I thought I would go ahead and teach you that from my point of analyzation. I'm not asking you to follow the same strategies. You can vary them, but this can be of help during your initial days of preparation. So let's see which technique works out for you. But I would start with the first and the most preferred method of preparation, which is called interrogation method. I repeat, the method which is favored by most candidates preparing for the IELTS test is interrogation method. So interrogation is nothing but asking questions. So when you question the question, you will get the answer. Sounds interesting, right? So let's get into the discussion. Let's understand what it is. So whenever you see a topic and when you are clueless, when your mind doesn't give you any kind of ideas, you need to start questioning the topic, like what, why, how, where and when. These are the top 5 questions, but internally there are other questions also, like whom, whose and all that. So basic which. Okay, so once you start interrogating the topic like that, automatically you will be getting the answers. So basically this has been proven n number of times. I'm telling you that I can very confidently say that this technique is proven to improve the scores drastically. And I'm not just targeting part 1 here, I'm also targeting part 2 as well as part 3, because you will be tested to speak about various topics. So I just don't want to leave it here. I just want to give you an example to enhance your understanding further about interrogation method. So I hope you understood what is interrogation. We are posing questions to the topic in order to get the response. And remember, responses which are limited or curtailed to a single word or a single phrase may not get the desired score. Whereas topics which are expanded, explained with examples and supporting ideas will definitely get a high score. So now let's look at this topic. This is one of the common topics, guys, which is called advertisements. So advertisements, yes, they have a lot of impact on us. Some of them have a very positive impact because of which we go ahead and buy the product, whereas some advertisements fool us. Maybe we don't feel impressed at all by watching those advertisements. So this question is something related to your opinion, and the question states, do you like watching advertisements? Not everybody likes watching ads, isn't it? Some people find it annoying, disturbing, maybe when they're watching a cricket match or their favorite TV show. Ads can be disturbing. So that can be the opinion of some people, whereas others who are who are interested to watch these advertisements will focus on the kind of graphics or the kind of action that is being done, how they are advertising the product, what product it is actually. So based on several factors, our interest towards watching ads can vary. So that is how you have to analyze the question. So now replacing the same strategy and examining it, I have landed into this kind of interrogation. What is the topic? Advertisements. Very good. So our first question is what? You can see on the left hand side that the first question is what. So what can you tell? You can ask yourself, oh, what kinds of ads are there? Maybe paper ads, TV ads, flexis, something like that, hoardings. Then bulletin boards. So there are so many methods, so many kinds of ads are appearing in our day-to-day lives. So that is what is the answer for what? There are various kinds of advertisements. Then why? So why are advertisements watched by so many people? Why are companies actually advertising the product? So you can talk about the reasons which you think are the main factors behind watching ads, or you can also talk on behalf of the companies. You can talk on behalf of the manufacturing industries that would like to promote their products via advertising. So all these reasons have to be elucidated. I'm not telling that you must talk about everything, but this can provide you some insight into how to speak. Then moving ahead with the next question, which is how can ads impact the customer's mindset? That means it can have a very positive impact or sometimes even a negative impact. You can deal with this question in the way that you like to. Maybe if you think that you like watching ads, then you will tell that ads will positively influence me into buying the product, or otherwise. Then where again can be where exactly do you watch advertisements? It is entirely up to you guys, because the question mentions do you like watching advertisements. Then when? So when indicates that you can say that I watch advertisements even now, or you can restrict your answer to the past. As a child, I used to watch a lot of ads, but now I'm not interested in them, so I usually change the channel, or I'm not very keen on watching ads. So this is how you have to tune your mind. When you fine tune your skills like this, it becomes a lot easier for you to elaborate your points on any given topic. I hope you understood this, but I just want to go a step further and give you a sample response for this question. This is entirely my response, guys. Please don't try to copy. I want you to develop the skill and frame your own answer. So let me tell you what my answer would be. Do you like watching advertisements? Yes. I believe that advertisements are great ways to know about new product releases and current trends in the market. So why do I like watching ads? Because it makes me know about any new product releases and also any recent trends in the market. In addition, ads can be watched from the comfort of my home on the TV, and I love when celebrities endorse the brands. So this is one of the reasons why I personally like watching ads, because my favorite sports star or film star is endorsing the product. I think that this feature has a huge impact on me while purchasing a product. So your opinion can differ from mine, but this is what are the factors that encourage me to watch advertisements, and I love watching them. So your response has to be very genuine, guys, and when you respond to any question, show that excitement in your voice. That is called intonation. uh, when it shows that the candidate is a natural speaker, you have to intonate it. Otherwise, it is understood that you have copied the response from somewhere. So let's not create such an impression. Let's speak as naturally as possible. On the other hand, if you are saying that you don't like watching advertisements also, you need to give proper reasons like that. So we would be more than happy to analyze your response on this topic. Uh, Ideally, you have to record your responses and send them to us, but since it is not a live platform where you can do so, you can type in your response, whatever comes to your mind. You can type it and leave as a comment in the comment section below. I would be more than happy to help you in correcting your errors or suggesting new ways of improving your current performance on this topic. So for that, I would like to give you 2 minutes of time now. You can start brainstorming now. And this is the question. That's it. So I hope by now all of you might have developed very good interrogative questions related to the topic and might have got answers for that as well. So instead of just telling that yes I like watching ads or no I don't like watching them, this is a better approach. I must say much better approach. So let's start the next unique strategy for improving your score, and that method is known as inverted pyramid method. Inverted pyramid method is one very good technique to explain about a topic by giving supporting details and reasons. This method can also be used for writing your essay, guys. So when you're writing the introduction paragraph also you can do this. Brief introduction is nothing but paraphrase the statement, or maybe you can give a general statement about the topic. Then you have to explain the reasons, specific reasons. Then you can end it up with an outline statement. So briefly, inverted pyramid approach comprises of three parts. First one, a brief introduction to the topic, then specific reasons, and then outline. So let's take an example of this. This approach is quite useful in part 1 and part 3 of the test. However, in part 2 also, depending on the topic that you get, you can go ahead and use it. So let's take the example of the topic called shopping. Yet another commonly seen topics in the speaking test is shopping. So come on, let's look at the question. What kinds of things do people in your country often buy from online shops? Now guys, it's very important to analyze the keywords in this question, because if you don't look at all the keywords and if you don't cover all the things mentioned in the question, you might not have a concrete answer. So basically the question says what kinds of things. That means you should not talk about just one item, but you need to specify more than one categories of things or products. The next one, do people in your country. That means you are not just referring to yourself, but you are referring to people in general. That too in your country. Often indicates regularly. Buy from online shops. It's not talking about local shops or supermarkets or something like that, but of online shopping. So specifically you're talking about online shopping. So what is the topic that you have understood here? Shopping. So your inverted pyramid approach should start with a brief introduction which is about shopping. You need to tell what is shopping according to you. Then you can then talk about reasons why online shopping is becoming so famous, and then you can give some examples of products which are purchased online. You can also use the examples to explain about various categories of products purchased online. So basically you'll give a brief introduction, general statement, then reasons and examples. Now let's look at the sample response. Again, a disclaimer is that this is just my point of view. Let me define shopping. Shopping is a popular hobby in my country and women particularly enjoy it. So this is a general statement which is not at all related to the topic that is given, but yes, on a more general note, I have defined what shopping means to me. It's just a pastime, especially for women. Okay, so then online shopping. Now I am jumping right into the topic. Online shopping is gaining popularity among people as it is more convenient and time saving to shop from anywhere. That means I don't need to go in person to a shop. I can finish my shopping from anywhere. That's the reason, owing to its convenience factor, it is gaining popularity. Then what kind of products? That is the question. So all sorts of products from electronic gadgets to home needs and groceries are now purchased online. Yes, we are able to see that shopping trends will differ based on the necessity, based on the individual's preference. In addition, branded accessories and apparel can be found at discounted rates on these e-commerce websites. Have you seen that the word choice is very much formal and to the point? The examiner is looking not for complex vocabulary, complicated words, but they are searching for the ability of the candidate to use related words in the related context. So this can be a suitable answer for this question, but you can also develop your own response. Remember, inverted pyramid approach does have three statements. Number one, brief introduction. Number two, reasons. Number three, some outline statement which is related to the given question. So why don't you start writing a comment on this, guys? Whatever you think could be your response. Again, I'm going to give you 2 minutes of time to finish that. Quick. You can start now. Okay then. So let's continue learning the third important and unique strategy to improve your speaking test scores. And this is a common method, guys, that is mind mapping. I hear this term a lot of times from many students, but when I ask them what exactly is mind mapping, they fail to answer, because mind mapping is not a usual strategy that we use while talking to people. Here, this strategy is particularly required to answer questions related to part 2. Not that it is not applicable for part 1 and 3. It is definitely useful for any part of the speaking test. Even for writing also you can use it. However, for part 2, it will help you a lot in developing points, because you need to speak at length for 2 minutes. For that, you will be given 4 hints following a topic. So you have to elaborate on each and every hint. That's the reason the mind mapping has been made very easy to you. So just understand this, guys. As I told you, there are 4 hints given to you. All you have to do is explain the hint, give reasons. Again, take the second hint, explain it with reasons. Third hint, explain with reasons. Fourth hint, explain with reasons. If you just give the ideas and don't explain with supporting statements, that response is incomplete. You are not giving a clarity to the examiner. So each and every point should be developed like that. And ideally, when you look at the timing for the part 2, you are going to get 2 minutes and 4 hints are given. Obviously, you need to speak on each hint for 30 seconds. How you can do it is only by using mind mapping. This strategy works like magic every single time you want to talk about any topic in part 2, which I am clearly showing it here. So this is the topic that we have selected, guys. This is one of the cue cards. So let's see. Describe an interesting discussion you had as a part of your work or studies. So there are 2 options. We have to talk about some discussion which was very interesting, but that discussion could be related either to your work or to your studies. See, it is talking about your own experience. So please don't start using vocabulary which is unrelated to you. You have to specify the discussion which you had, which you participated in. And what is the tense of this? past tense clearly, because describe an interesting discussion you had indicates past tense. So predominantly your response should focus on the grammar part as well. And what are the four hints here? What the subject of the discussion was, that means what did you discuss about, what was the topic of discussion. Then who you discussed the topic with, that means whether you discussed it with your family, whether it was with your friends or your colleagues or your manager, whomsoever it might be. So that person is very important while answering this hint. Moving ahead to the third hint. What opinions? Clearly it is in the plural form. What opinions were expressed? That means, did people agree? Did people counter argue? Did people oppose? What did they do? What all opinions were expressed? Then finally, explain why you found this discussion interesting. So why you were particularly interested, why do you remember this particular discussion? So like this you are given 4 hints, and you will also get a rough paper and a pencil. By using that, you have to elaborate, you have to do mind mapping, and if this topic is given to me, this is how I would map my mind. Let's look at it. I'm not giving the answer purposely. So basically, I want everybody to think like this. If you are facing this particular question, how would you map your mind? So on purpose, I did not give you any sample response for this, because I wanted to see that from you guys. So please use the comment section below. Write a detailed comment on this topic and what all ideas you would get if you encounter this topic. So the first hint says subject of the discussion. So I had a discussion with my colleagues and with my friends related to some other alternative ways to skip writing the exams. I am one of those people who hates writing exams, particularly because I feel that can our knowledge be proved just with a written exam? Maybe I don't support that, but it is up to your wish. So we have had a discussion about what kind of other methods are there instead of writing exams. Instead of formal written assessments, what other forms of examinations can be possible? So that was the subject of our discussion. So I will generally start the response by telling that generally I discuss a lot with various people relating to work or relating to my profession, relating to general topics such as weather or interests, hobbies. So I discuss a lot with people. But particularly if you ask me to specify one discussion that I had, then I would zero it on the particular discussion that I had with my friends relating to alternatives to formal written exams. So by now the reader is getting a clear idea. I hope whoever is reading this slide is definitely able to get a gist of what my first bullet point would be. Moving ahead to the next one, which says who you discussed it with. So who were participating in the discussion? Obviously my friends and other classmates, along with them even my teachers also participated. So maybe it's a classroom discussion and the topic is whether formal exams are required or not required, and as a part of that discussion I opposed the method of conducting written exams. So I discussed it with friends and other colleagues, other classmates, along with teachers. Then the third hint says what opinions were expressed. Obviously when people are discussing, you can't expect everybody to agree on a common point. Definitely there would be some kind of arguments for and against this view. So I am expressing the view that there should not be formal written assessments. So some people supported me and some people opposed me. That means the two opposing opinions were supporting the written exams and opposing the written exams. So this I need to elaborate in my response. I can say that the viewpoints of the people were biased. So while some people agreed with my point of view, others said that written exams are the best way to assess a candidate's performance. So then moving to the fourth and the last hint. Why was the discussion so interesting? Basically, it was interesting because I came to know about the views of other people as well. So before getting to a final view or final declaration about the topic, we did discuss about this at length. So that is what was very interesting, very fascinating. And I also came to know about the benefits of writing were discussed along with the drawbacks. So I came to know what are the advantages of writing and disadvantages of writing. Then already, since I was not favoring written exams, I also came to know that there are several other alternatives to written exams, like oral tests or conducting viva, seminar, PowerPoint presentation. So something like that, open book method. So all these are the suitable alternatives which were discussed, and I found it really interesting that how people are able to speak their heart out in a discussion. So all these factors made the discussion to be very interesting, very fascinating. So this is how I will elaborate my points, guys. So now if you are given this topic, I want to see how you will come up with your own discussion and your own idea. For this, I'm just going to give you 1 minute of time, presuming that you will do the same thing in the main exam as well. Your 1 minute time begins now. Okay, so that's the end of your 1 minute time. As you can see, initially you might face a little difficulty uh, gaining experience or writing points related to the topic, but as time progresses, with time you will know how to approach mind mapping. And in case you are not comfortable with mind mapping, obviously we have other methods as well, like inverted pyramid, interrogation method, or the two other strategies which I am going to highlight now. So the fourth unique strategy that you can use to speak is called body paragraph method. Body paragraph method is inspired from essay writing. Basically, when you write an essay, you have to include the introduction, body paragraphs, and conclusion, isn't it? So when you're writing a body paragraph, this is what you do. You start writing the body paragraph with a topic sentence. Topic sentence indicates what exactly are you pointing out in this paragraph. Followed by that, you will paraphrase the given question, give some supporting statements, and if possible, you will also include a personal example. So this is basically taken from essay writing, but the same approach can also be used for speaking, because writing and speaking are mostly based on theoretical approach. So there is no proper one particular method which will work for everybody. So you can try out various methods, and now I am selecting a question and I have given the response following body paragraph method. What are the advantages of buying things from local shops? Clearly, your opinion is not to be given here. It is just asking you what are the benefits, what are the advantages of buying things from local shops. So why should I go to a local shop? Why should people start buying things from local shops? Now, the first statement is topic sentence. That means I'm introducing the idea. There are several benefits of purchasing products from street markets and local shops. I introduce the topic that there are so many advantages. Then the second statement is paraphrase. Location of these outlets within the localities is definitely one of the key advantages. So the first reason why people should buy from local shops is that they are located nearby our homes. That is one of the key advantages. And then I'm going to support this view. People need not go to big shopping malls for their day-to-day needs. So when everything is available nearby our homes, why do we need to drive, or why do we need to travel and go to big shopping malls? Not necessary. Now I'm going to give you an example of this. For instance, my uncle buys all the groceries from a corner store. Corner store is a kind of shop which is located at the street corner. So my uncle buys all the groceries from a corner store in their residential areas, as their abode is nothing but home, is located in the outskirts of the city. Obviously, maybe not all the shopping malls are located in the outskirts. Most of them indeed are located in the city centers. So since my uncle's residence is located in the outskirts of the city, they can't travel so far to buy the products that they require, because traveling costs will escalate. So what does he do? He purchases all the requirements or commodities from a corner store. This is my personal example. Now I would like to give one more benefit, because they are asking us what are the advantages. Can you see that this is in the plural form? The first advantage is location. Second advantage, moreover. This is a very good linking word. Some small local shops sell products that are manufactured locally, which is preferred by some people. Yes, some people prefer to buy products which are manufactured locally. They don't prefer to buy branded products. So for them also, it is very good or very advantageous to purchase goods from local shops. So this is how my response would be, guys. And now I want you to generate ideas related to this topic, for which I am going to give you 2 minutes of time, which starts now. Fine. So now let me introduce the last unique method that you can use it in your speaking test depending on the question, is compare and contrast. This technique is particularly helpful when the question asks you to compare past tense with the present tense, or present trend with the future development. Maybe this concept is very useful when talking about trends. A past trend with a present trend, or present trend with a future development. This question type particularly is given in the section 3, part 3, wherein the topic would be compared with the past or the future. And here the advantage is that your score not only improves for lexical resource, that is vocabulary, but you can also score very well for grammar, because you're showing your ability to use tenses very well. So come on, let's look at a question, but the small change here is I want you to develop the response on your own, because I want to see how well you are using grammar, tenses to develop the topic. And the question is, do you think, so clearly you need to give your opinion, do you think there will be greater choice of food available in the shops in the future, or will there be less choice? That means when compared to the present, will there be more food choices in the future or less number of choices? So food is a very common topic. I hope all of you must definitely have your answers ready by now. So I'm going to give you just half a minute to think about this, because this topic has to be answered with reference to grammar, for which if you start writing, it will look like the body paragraph method. So just think of the ideas. I'm going to give you just half a minute for this. You can start thinking now. Okay then. So I hope this video was helpful in your IELTS speaking preparation. A quick recapitulation would reveal that there are 5 unique methods to speak. According to me, the first strategy is called interrogation method. The second one is called inverted pyramid method. The third one is mind mapping. The fourth one is body paragraph method, while the last one is compare and contrast method. So by using any of the 5 methods, I hope all of you will develop very good responses to any given topic in the speaking test and get your desired score of band 9. So if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, share it with your friends, and do subscribe to our channel World of English Exams. And thank you for showing all your love and support, guys. And we have been getting many requests from students to give them some recent questions or topics which are commonly repeated in speaking. So if you are among those candidates who want us to give you some recent questions or maybe common topics given in speaking part 1, part 2 and part 3, please leave your comments, and depending on that, I will definitely research on that and try to give you better content. So thank you once again for watching the video, and happy preparation, guys.